Hello, everyone, and happy Tuesday. Thanks so much for joining us on UpNorthLive Unscripted at 6:30. I am Maya Engel, and let's just kick things off right away with some weather. So bring in our Chief Meteorologist, Joe Charlevoix from the Storm Team Weather Center. And Joe, it's a pretty nice day across northern Michigan. So a few clouds, but you mentioned earlier in your weather forecast that we could see a bit of rain as a result of Beryl. When can we expect to see that?
Yeah, as early as tonight for some spots. So that'll kind of work in from south to north. We are going to get rain out of that system here in northern Michigan, but not as much as they'll see downstate where they have flood watches and things like that down around Detroit, Grand Rapids, Lansing, that area. But yeah, kind of a rainy day, but this is going to move through quickly, Maya, and then we're back to what should be some pretty nice weather Thursday and Friday. And I mentioned this last night, but you know, we have what maybe a pretty nice warm weekend coming up, maybe a beach weekend for some spots. Yeah,
I'm a sucker for a beach weekend, so I love to hear that.
All right, I'll be back a little later with the rest of the forecast.
Some more details. All right, thank you so much, Joe. And let's turn things over to one of our stories we're working on today. In case you missed it, Governor Whitmer is set to take the stage at the National Writer Series in Traverse City later this month. Her new book, True Gretch, is now available on bookstore shelves. And the National Writer Series announced the bonus author event today. So the event, you can see the details on your screen right now, will take place on July 31st at 8 p.m. at the City Opera House. And Governor Whitmer will be joined on stage with Bob Sutherland. He is the owner of Cherry Republic. And we have more details on that on our website, upnorthlive.com. But this prompted our question of the day, which is, let's turn things over to that. Do you plan on reading Governor Whitmer's new memoir? As of right now, 83% are saying no, 17% are saying yes. I am curious how many people have voted. So let's go to our website. 355 people have voted so far. A lot of people obviously are overwhelmingly saying no. I am very curious why. And for those people who are saying yes, I'm also curious why. So if you are watching this right now and you want to scan that QR code on your screen to vote, please do that. And you can also leave a comment on this live stream to let us know why you answered what you answered. So we will continue to take a look at those results as the show goes on. But let's turn things over to more local news. So one of our top stories that we have been working on today, every 2 years, the U.S. Coast Guard Air Station Traverse City says goodbye to one leader and says hello to another leader. And today, our Allie Baxter was at that ceremony where Captain Andrew Shano was relieved by Commander Ryan Hahn at a ceremony this morning. So Allie Baxter talked with both of them about what the future holds.
This is a dream come true. So humbling to see everybody here.
2 years really flies by. The people in front of then Commander Andy Shano, strangers, soon to be friends.
I think that's the amazing difference. I saw all the peoples 2 years ago, but this time I know them all personally. Bittersweet, just what we've received from this town.
Now Captain Shano's moving on to his next assignment. He's led the air station through notable accomplishments.
It's been the highlight of my Coast Guard career.
Including sending an air crew to help after Hurricane Ian and one to search the waters of Lake Huron after the destruction of an unidentified surveillance balloon. He calls the staff his eagles and anchors.
The situations we've had where the entire air stations had to come together, where we had a helicopter broke last summer in Bayfield, Wisconsin, and it took everybody here to fix that aircraft because it needed a whole transmission replacement. And everybody here contributed to it. So when you see everybody come together and work as a team to get the job done and to continue to protect everyone along the Great Lakes, it's been an awesome feeling for me.
People first, mission always. It's the unofficial creed, and it's the piece of advice passed along to incoming Commander Ryan Hahn.
We're extremely excited to be here.
He's here from Alaska, where he was chief pilot at the Kodiak Air Station.
Traverse City is known among the Coast Guard for being extremely hospitable with huge open arms to the Coast Guard. It is known for that. Despite the small population, it's known at every air station, and people tend to put Traverse City high on their list after their first air station because of that.
So it's not a surprise to see the return of familiar faces one day. Could we see you again potentially in the future?
I think there's a good chance of that. Traverse City and living in northern Michigan is at the top of our list.
In Traverse City, Allie Baxter, UpNorthLive News.
And Allie Baxter is joining us live now from our content center. Hi, Allie. We haven't seen your face on Unscripted in a couple days now, so we missed you. Happy to have you back.
Hey, Maya, it's good to see you again.
Of course. So I'm just curious. It does seem like it was just yesterday that Captain Shano was named the new commander. It has been 2 years. Do you know why they change commanders every 2 years?
Yeah, so it was kind of explained today as well, because it is a super bittersweet thing. And it's almost like, oh my gosh, like nobody wants to leave Traverse City, right? Like 2 years is just too short of a time. But the way they explained it today is that they have just found that this works best, especially this is pretty standard across all the Coast Guard stations across the country. They found that this method works best, that new leadership coming in just keeps things fresh. It keeps new ideas flowing. And Captain Shano even had explained today, he's like, I'm so excited for Commander Han to come in with fresh eyes, maybe seeing things that I didn't get to see before. So while it is super bittersweet to be saying goodbye to one person, it also is a great opportunity for another leader to come in and experience Traverse City as well for the first time.
Sure. So do you know exactly what goes into the process of choosing a new leader?
I'm not sure, but I know it is a process that starts a few months in advance. They made several references today saying how they had conversations with Commander Han, just even like for the past few months, just familiarizing himself with the area. Of course, he's coming from Alaska, so that's a major move to make with your family, and of course, trying to find housing around here. So they do have a pretty good heads up, and I'm pretty sure it's pretty far up the chain as far as deciding where, the outgoing person is going and where the incoming person is coming from as well. I was telling him today, hey, was Traverse City even on your radar? Did you think you would end up here? And he told me, honestly, not really. He's like, I was in Kodiak, Alaska, and then we thought maybe they would put us in Sitka, Alaska, but instead we got this assignment and we were surprised, but this is going to be a really great adventure for us.
That is quite the move.
Yeah.
From Alaska all the way to Michigan. So, Allie, what is next for Captain Shano?
He is taking a little bit more of an educational route. So instead of being out in the field, like we've been able to see him here at the air station being a commanding officer, there's so many things that you can do to serve the Coast Guard, especially with all the experience that he has. So he and his family are going to Newport, Rhode Island, and the Navy has a school there that he is going to be working with the staff there. He was explaining to me, going through maybe some of the curriculum that they have already and seeing, what kind of minds are coming in and wanting to go and serve in the Coast Guard in the same way that he has. So this is kind of a good way for him to use all that experience and knowledge that he has and be able to use it for the other people, the other young people who are coming up in the field, and be able to show them exactly what it's like out there.
And you mentioned that this ceremony was pretty bittersweet. Do you want to go into a little more detail about what it was like actually being at the ceremony this morning?
Oh my goodness. I have never seen so many people. I actually was able to attend Captain Shano's ceremony when he was the incoming commanding officer. And as he was explaining it to me, you look out there and you're not super familiar with everyone, but you're just humbled that everyone has even shown up to wish you well, wish the other person well. And now he's like, I look out there and I know all of those people. So it's definitely really bittersweet. We were actually waiting today to do interviews with the two of them, and we were hoping to wait for the receiving line to go down a little bit, but it was so long. There were so many people there wanting to wish him well, wanting to welcome the new commanding officer. This is a Coast Guard city, and it's very well displayed, I think, especially when we have these change of command ceremonies. I mean, everybody shows up. We saw different law enforcement from across the state come there. We saw different leaders from other Coast Guard stations, not just air stations, but Coast Guard stations just across the Great Lakes. Different representatives as well. We saw a lot of staff from the airport too. So it's something that, and the staff from the Cherry Festival as well. It's something that I feel like is so ingrained across our community that a lot of people come to this so that they can say, hey, thank you so much for being in our community.
And what would you say after talking with Captain Shano, what would you say his, I guess, biggest message or his, how would he describe his time being in Traverse City?
I think he would describe his time, and this was his second time as well. So clearly it was a really great experience, but he says, I love this area so much. And I think that was his main takeaway, that he wants, not just all the people that were there at the ceremony today, but the entire community to know that he and his family, they feel so loved by this community. And that is the reputation that we have here in Traverse City with people who come and serve at our Coast Guard Air Station. He just wants everyone to know that this town, this community has served his family as well, right as they have served us. So he just wants everyone to know that they feel so loved. And like I had asked him at the end of that story, could we see you back here in the future? And he said, it's high on our list. We love this area. So you never know. You could see some of those familiar faces. There have been some commanding officers in the past who have come back and they live here now. So that's super exciting.
Traverse City is definitely a hard place to leave. And like you mentioned earlier, 2 years is really not a very long time. So I know I'd have a hard time leaving Traverse City after just 2 years, and I'd probably want to find my way back here eventually as well.
Exactly. You want to soak up everything that Northern Michigan has to offer, right?
Mm-hmm. And it definitely sounds like Commander Hahn is very excited to be here in Traverse City.
Oh yeah, super excited. And I had asked him as well, like, hey, what has Captain Shano told you about the area? And he said just the same thing that I told you, that, be ready to feel so supported and so loved on by this community. And exactly how you show love to the community, they show it right back to you. So he said, me, my family, he has 3 kids, I believe. They are just so excited for this next adventure. He was telling me that someone told him that Traverse City in Northern Michigan, it's like the light version of Alaska. Because I was saying to him, I think it's kind of a whole different atmosphere and environment here. He's like, oh, no, it's kind of similar. It's just like the light version of Alaska.
I love that. That's a good comparison. Anything else, Allie, that you really want people to know about this ceremony and the change of leadership or anything?
I guess I would just say, once again, it's super bittersweet for everyone, but like they explained today, it's in the best interest of keeping things new and fresh and keeping great leadership around. As long as I've been here, we have had amazing commanding officers at the Coast Guard Air Station. So it's also a pleasure for us to be able to work with them and meet new people as well. And hopefully we will get the new commanding officer on Unscripted soon. We were talking about it today, and he said he had to take a rain check because they are obviously having a celebration dinner tonight. But he said, Maya, he's got to get on with us sometime soon.
Well, I would love to have him on the show. He seems like a really great guy, and I look forward to meeting him. All right, Allie, thank you so much for joining us and for going into a little more detail about your story today. We are going to take a break here on Up North Live Unscripted. I will put up our question of the day. For those of you watching online, you can still scan that QR code to vote. And when we come back after the break, we're going to check in with Chief Meteorologist Joe Charlevoix. He did mention at the beginning of the show that we will be seeing some rain as a result of Beryl, and he will have all that timed out. And he'll also look forward to the weekend and what the weather is going to be like then. So that is all happening right after the break. Stay with us. Welcome back, everyone. Let's bring in Joe now from the Weather Center. And Joe, today was the first day of Alpenfest in Gaylord, and it looked like a really nice weather day.
Yeah, it turned out pretty nice. I've been watching our camera. I don't have it up right now, but a lot of folks enjoying the day there.
Yeah.
And why not with the fantastic weather we had today?
Mhm.
And, looking ahead, Maya, the weather's not going to be that bad. It's just we have to get through tomorrow with
Right.
a little bit of rain in some spots. We'll start off, though, with what was Hurricane Beryl. Here's a look at our weather graphics, and there it is. You can see all that rain across Illinois and Indiana. By the way, down here, or that red box, which includes all the areas around Cincinnati, parts of Kentucky, that's a tornado watch tonight. This rain extends all the way up to the southern part of the state. We'll take the satellite picture off so you can see it a little more clear. And there's kind of the northern edge of this now. Just getting into Detroit. We'll see about the Tigers game there tonight. They're playing the Guardians, and it'll be iffy with all that rain coming in. There's some of the showers and storms, but back home in our area, it's pretty quiet, at least for the time being. Downstate, there is a flood watch. That includes the southern part of the state. There it is. Now, our area is not in this. We're not expecting as much rain, but they could see 2 to 5 inches of rain downstate. Again, all of this is the remains of what was Hurricane Beryl. So Detroit's included in this, the Thumb, Lansing, Grand Rapids, Kalamazoo, potential for a little bit of flooding in that area. Here's what it looks like big picture. So the rain sliding in here overnight tonight. We'll stop the clock there around 8, 9 o'clock tomorrow morning. The rain reaching up to around Traverse City and Sheboygan, about the northern edge of this, with heavier rain downstate. There we head through the afternoon, showers, maybe a thunderstorm embedded within this. And then eventually, later tomorrow night, Beryl moves on and out of here, and we'll clear things out after midnight tomorrow night, and then it should be a pretty nice day coming up on Thursday, also through the day on Friday. The big rains, though, with this, and we just showed you where there's a flood watch, will be downstate. I mean, where you see the red shading, that's 2.5 to 4 or 5 inches of rain, including there around Port Huron, Kalamazoo, Detroit. Back in our area here in northern Michigan, if you're wondering, I think the thing to take away from this, it kind of depends where pockets of this heavier rain set up. But, if you're up around Newberry, the further north and west you go, the less likely you're going to get much rain. Around Frankfort, Newberry, not a whole lot. Maybe not too much around Sheboygan, Petoskey either, but there is more as you head south. We are going to warm up. I don't think we're going to get any record-breaking heat, but look at the temperatures. Late week, we get into the probably upper 80s for part of the weekend, close to 90 degrees. And Maya, you mentioned Alpenfest. Mm-hmm. Here's a look at that the next few days. So again, tomorrow, occasional rain and thunder, 72 there in Gaylord. But Thursday and Friday looking really nice, partly cloudy skies. And by Friday, highs there back up to around 82. And just a quick look, if you have weekend plans, look at that, 85 to 88 Saturday, mostly sunny and warm, a nice July weekend coming up. Might run into a couple showers or storms on Sunday in the afternoon. By the way, look at the temperature Sunday, 82 to 92.
Wow.
So pretty warm one coming up here. There's the extended forecast, pretty pleasant. I mean, no major issues. Thursday, Friday, and Saturday, it will be warm. And then Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday next week, it's a little bit more active. It looks like on Monday we have another system coming through, some scattered showers and a few thunderstorms there. So that's kind of what we're looking at. I would say, Maya, pretty much a typical July forecast coming up here. We just have to get through the rain tomorrow, and then it looks pretty good the rest of the week.
All right. Well, thank you so much for letting us know, Joe. And we will take a short break here on Up North Live Unscripted. When we come back, we'll check in with sports director Harrison Beebe. He is not in the studio today, so we'll see what he's up to when we come back. Welcome back to Unscripted. Let's bring in sports director Harrison Beebe, who is live from a familiar place, Turtle Creek Stadium, in your VIP area.
Yeah, I'm a little confused. I walked into the media suite tonight, and I'm just hearing what sounds like Indiana Jones Jurassic Park music. And big reason why, somebody invited that guy. Can you see in the distance that special guest with the really long neck?
No, I can't. Can you zoom in?
I don't know. Can I? That's a great question. That's a Stegosaurus for those of you dinosaur fans. So it's Dino Night at the ballpark tonight. I just missed a Velociraptor. I can't confirm if it was an actual Velociraptor throwing out a first pitch. So that would have been cool. But that was in the parking lot. Trackman Ryan told me it was pretty neat, though. So maybe we'll track down footage of that later. But yeah, here for the Pit Spitters. And Ryan, that's your stat of the day, correct?
Yeah, the Pit Spitters have 4 games in the next 3 days with a doubleheader tomorrow. We are also currently tied with the Royal Oak Leprechauns in the division at the moment. So if we can squeak out at least 3 of those, we'll be above them for the standings this year.
And this is 4 straight against the Leprechauns over the next 3 days. So if you really want to stick it to Royal Oak, if you know somebody who lives down there, brag about the Northwoods League record against your team, this is your chance tonight, tomorrow. Although tomorrow might be dicey. According to Joe, there's a lot of rain potential from the barrel, runoff that's hitting Michigan here that might affect the games tomorrow. But we'll wait and see. We're here tonight, and hopefully we see a few more dinosaurs.
And I know Joe mentioned that he wasn't sure if that rain would impact Detroit and the Tigers game tonight because they are getting some rain right now. But I can tell you that the game is going on, and I don't know if you've checked, Harrison, but it's not off to a great start. Yeah.
Well, what would Unscripted be if you weren't telling me about the Tiger game?
Right. Yeah, 3-0 in the first inning.
Well, guess who's pitching today? Kenta Maeda. So, to the surprise of no one, the Tigers are in a hole.
But plenty of time to bounce back.
With this offense, I doubt it. But yeah, let's see.
You're too much of a realist, Harrison. We need some optimism here.
That's how I avoid getting hurt, Maya. It's been built in for me for years.
That's fair. All right, Harrison. Well, we'll check back in with you tonight at 11 o'clock on Up North Live News for Pit Spitters and Tigers highlights. And again, fingers crossed that the Tigers bounce back and the Pit Spitters start off the home stretch on a good note.
It'd be cool. Yep, sounds good.
All right, see you, Harrison. We'll take one more quick break on Unscripted, but we'll be back in just a few minutes. Stick around. In case you missed the beginning of our show, Governor Gretchen Whitmer will be in Traverse City to take part in a National Writers Series event later this month. Her new book, True Gretch, just came out today, and so she will be at the City Opera House on July 31st at 8 p.m. to talk more about her book. So that's why we want to know if you plan on reading Governor Whitmer's new memoir. 83% say nope, 17% say yes. If you haven't voted yet, you can still scan that QR code on your screen. I will keep that up for a few minutes after the show ends, but that'll do it for Up North Live. Thank you so much for joining us. I hope you all have